a part of your day, you can always take us along wherever you go. Download the Jocks 94.5 app. You can watch us on YouTube. Hit subscribe. Really appreciate it as the listeners and the watchers of this program continue to every single day improve. So we appreciate that.
Yeah. And amaze us and entertain us. You're a
Yes.
big part of our day.
Absolutely. Joining us now on the Higginbotham Hotline. He joins us each and every Friday. Let's talk a little Alabama athletics with Mike Rodak from Bama 247. Mike, I know yesterday when you were sitting at home and you were watching the judge pontificate for an hour and 15 minutes, it took you back to the Charles Bediako case and how much you wished that you were over in Pittsburgh, Mississippi. Don't lie to us, right?
Yeah, I mean it's interesting the differences, just in one state to the other, because as we talked about before, like we're not allowed to have. I guess technically we can have phones in our pocket, but we couldn't have our phones out. We couldn't be recording. There's no live video. There's no recording devices in Alabama court, and so it's really hard to actually make a full quote about what an attorney said or what the judge said. You can kind of scribble down some partial quotes, but yeah, in Mississippi, they had it all live streamed, and you have people able to take pictures and do all that in the courtroom. And I don't know if there's a correlation there. The judge certainly took advantage of kind of the opportunity to be on TV. And I will say it would have been nice if that same situation happened in Alabama, where the judge says, I'll rule this afternoon. I'll go back to my chambers for an hour and I'll come back with a decision. Because in this case, in Alabama, it was, we're waiting the entire weekend all the way to Monday at 5:00. So I actually would have liked, to be in Mississippi and have it all wrapped up by the end of the day. But it sounds like the NCAA attorneys skipped town. They weren't even there for the verdict. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Did see that. Contempt. Nothing like being held in contempt in a small county jail in Mississippi. That's coming, right?
Well, they said he will have a show cause order, which is kind of ironic.
To an NCAA.
The NCAA he likes giving show cause orders himself.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, so I am curious. You just mentioned something. Now, I saw the signs that you guys posted on social media outside the courtroom there in Tuscaloosa. There were not one, but 3 signs telling you that you could not bring your cell phone or have your cell phone turned on in the room, I guess, during the proceedings. Is that just for that specific court in Tuscaloosa, or is that like all over the state? Is that just a state of Alabama type thing? I'm just curious.
I'm not sure. I haven't covered enough to know. In fact, the only time I've covered a courtroom before this was about 12, 13 years ago. Aaron Hernandez in Boston was the last time before Charles
that was
Bediako.
a big one.
Yeah, I wasn't there for the trial because I had already moved to Buffalo by the time the trial came around, but I was there when he was arrested and his bond hearing and his arraignment, and I don't remember being able to have a phone there. But, in Alabama, does it vary judge to judge, courthouse to courthouse? I don't know the answer to that, but I know that this particular judge doesn't really mess around with that sort of thing.
I was reading here, it says in the state of Alabama, it's got to be the cameras are allowed in trial courtrooms if the Supreme Court of Alabama has approved a coverage plan for the courtroom.
Okay.
We're always learning on this show, right? I did want to ask Mike about Greg Sankey weighing in prior to the ruling on Charles Bediako, and what is your reaction to not getting anything on the Trinidad Chambliss case, and now the lack of putting anything on the Joey Aguilar case is being used by Aguilar's attorneys today in their argument?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a case of once you come out and do it once, people are going to ask, why aren't you doing it all the time? And that could apply for a lot of different PR strategies. If Alabama responds to a rumor about something once, does that mean that people are expecting them to respond to it every single time? Like, the Kalen DeBoer stuff, for instance, like, do they need to respond to Penn State? Do they need to respond to Michigan? So once you do something once, then people start to read into the times that you don't do it. And so, yeah, you're right. I think in this particular case, a lot of people viewed the Bediako situation as kind of a bridge too far. Whether that's right or wrong, I think that's kind of how it was viewed. It was like, well, that's just too far. That's a professional player who's left college and is now coming back. And these particular cases, whether it's Aguilar or Chambliss, or there's a lot of other ones, um, aren't that. And even I think the Chambliss lawyer in court yesterday said that he doesn't even think a professional player should come back, like a Bediako. So I think in Sankey's mind and the SEC's mind, like that was, I don't want to say extreme, but it was pushing the envelope, the Bediako one, that they needed to speak out in their minds. And I don't know if Chambliss or Aguilar kind of reaches that threshold. It's, a lot of these are more about technicalities, like the Rashawn Ajee, the Texas A&M basketball player, got his injunction. That was about like his grades in one of the years that he was in junior college, and like very technical stuff. The Chambliss thing was about the medical red shirt and the tonsils, whatever it was. Like those are very specific cases. You have the junior college stuff with Pavia, but I think the Bediako thing was like bright flashing lights. Like here's a G League player who's coming back who already gave up his eligibility. So that's why I think the SEC did it. But does that mean they should have been consistent? I think you can make an argument, yes, in that case as well.
Well, it's just interesting. We were talking about it earlier, Mike, and I get and I understand. Like all these cases are completely different, and I know a lot of times we just want to put it underneath the same umbrella, and every single one is different. Each one of them have different DNA. But it is interesting that Aguilar's attorneys today in that courtroom, based on some filings that was done the last day or two, that they're going to present to the court that if the SEC commissioner obviously had a problem with Charles Bediako playing, and he put his name on an affidavit, and the commissioner of the conference is not going to put his name on an affidavit saying that he's got a problem with Joey Aguilar or Diego Pavia playing an additional year of football, then he should be okay with us getting another year. And of course, the judge in Knox County is going to absolutely, just like the judge yesterday, going to side to the plaintiff, in which Aguilar will get that other year. I think that is brilliant for the law team to be able to bring that up and say, if the SEC commissioner hasn't said anything about it, then it should be okay because he had a problem with Bediako.
Yeah. I think all of these in some form or fashion are being used as precedent the best that they can. And, that works sometimes. It doesn't work in other cases because you can make the same case and say Daniel Pruitt denying Bediako's injunction can be used. It's literally the same attorney. It's Taylor Askew who's representing the NCAA in all these cases. He can go to each courtroom and say, well, I got the judge to deny it in Tuscaloosa. And so there's precedent kind of both directions that can be used. There's Sankey, there's all sorts of legal arguments about antitrust and interference with contracts and all that. So, I think in general, lawyers are going to do that to begin with. They're going to kind of research past cases that are similar. But yeah, I think the Sankey thing is, it's a big name. It's the commissioner of the SEC. It carries a lot of weight. And so, yes, I guess they can argue successfully, if they do today, that the lack of a affidavit from Sankey is proof, if they will argue that he should be playing in the SEC's eyes. I don't know if that's true, but it can be interpreted that way potentially by his lawyers.
I am interested, I should say, because to my knowledge, Greg Byrne has not spoken publicly. We did get the release, the statement in regards to Alabama being disappointed about the Bediako situation. But to my knowledge, he has not spoken publicly about Greg Sankey and that affidavit. Is that correct?
He has not. Not that I've seen.
Okay,
myself
I haven't either. I just want to make sure I hadn't missed it.
A week from Monday is kind of when we expect him to do that, because he will be at the Birmingham Tip-Off Club, and because he's part of the NCAA tournament committee, he always speaks at that this time of year, and presumably will take questions after that. So that'll be the first time in a while that he's kind of taken questions, and definitely the first time since this case has come out.
Do you think all the conversation around European players and comparing that to the Charles Bediako situation maybe prompts Nate Oates to do a little more recruiting across the Atlantic?
Well, I think it goes back to in November, they played the games against St. John's in Illinois. And I was looking at those rosters, at the time, and I was like, there's a lot of international players in both of those teams. And so I actually asked Nate about that in one of his press conferences back in November. And because you kind of look back, you think back to his first 6 seasons, like he really didn't have international players. The one I can think of was Alex Chiku
Mm-hmm.
from Paris, but he was never a pro player, and he never really worked out at Alabama. So, yeah, there's always been a contrast between kind of how Nate has recruited and how other teams have with international guys. And his answer, in not too hidden terms, was basically like those other schools can afford it. Like you have to pay some of those international guys a decent amount of money to make it worth it because they're making a decent amount of money overseas. In Alabama, as we know, from an NIL standpoint, especially in basketball, just doesn't have the capacity to do that. And if they are doing it, they're trying to do it for, pretty high level high school players. It's still been their strategy. So maybe it does change kind of Nate's thoughts on it, but they've done pretty well, recruiting high school kids. And it's a question of, can you afford to do it in the SEC where revenue sharing is not going to be favorable to basketball? That's another thing. Like we know that like basketball is not going to get a whole lot of rev share. And a school like St. John's in the Big East, where there is no football, is going to have more rev share money to work with, to pay some of these international guys. So I don't know, even if they wanted to go out and get some more of these guys, if they would be able to.
Mike Rodak from Bama 247. A couple more minutes here on the program. Let's talk about Alabama on the court, not off the court in a courtroom, but this Alabama basketball team seems to be getting into a rhythm now, scoring a lot of points. The outside shooting, especially in the second half against Ole Miss, really showed up. They've got an opponent coming up Saturday night, need to be focused because South Carolina, not a very good team in conference play. But as of this moment, when you look at this Alabama team, 4-5 seed in the NCAA tournament, if it was Selection Sunday coming up this weekend, where do you have Alabama currently in your bracketology?
Yeah, right in that range, I think is kind of where they would fall. And it's definitely an easier stretch to close the SEC this year, much easier than it was last year. Because I was looking back, their final 8 games in the SEC regular season last year, they played 7 ranked teams. They played 4 top 5 teams, which included playing Auburn twice when Auburn was number 1. Tennessee was top 5. Florida was top 5. This particular year, their final 8 games, they play right now one team that's ranked, and that's Arkansas, which is not highly ranked. So it's a much easier schedule, and so that's obviously going to potentially, favor them. Right now, I think they got a decent shot to get a double bye in the SEC tournament if they can finish in the top 4 of the SEC. Now, I don't think they're going to catch Florida to win an SEC regular season title. They're probably still behind Vandy. I mean, they're still behind Kentucky, Arkansas, Tennessee. So we'll have to see how the Arkansas game shakes out next Wednesday. We'll have to see how that Tennessee road game shakes out. If they take care of business against South Carolina and Mississippi State and LSU and Georgia, Auburn at home, then I think they'll have a double bye. And maybe you give yourself a chance to win the SEC tournament that way. But yeah, I think you're looking in the 4 to 5 range for the NCAA tournament. If you drop a couple games here that you shouldn't, which I think they're still a little bit prone to do. You look at the first 15 minutes of that Ole Miss game, that was not a particularly good showing. You look at parts of other games they've played, like we've seen the capacity for this team to lose, but we've also seen the second half of the Auburn game, the second half of the Ole Miss game where they look great. And if they do that, then maybe they can climb up to a 3 seed. But I don't think they'll get much higher than that at this point.
Mike, we got the Winter Olympics going on. Pat had a great idea for a new event we need to introduce, one of those experimental things they try at one of the games, and it's downhill snowmobile racing. Think that would be great. How dialed in are you to the Winter Olympics, being a Northeastern guy?
I've never been a big Olympics guy in general, winter or summer. I don't know. It just doesn't do a whole lot
he's
for
like
me.
Conrad.
So he's like Conrad.
He just doesn't love his country, I guess. All right. Well,
no, but Mike, you like the luge, right? Especially the luge. That's pretty cool.
I would tell you guys to go to Canada, but you might be out of luck there.
I guess there's just kind of maybe a novelty that, it looks funny, like 2 guys on top of each other doing a luge, but like actual.
There's nothing funny about it.
It's an 80-mile-an-hour water slide. Sounds great to me.
Yeah, I guess it's just like we've debated this in our podcast. I'm not really into the Olympics. I can't get myself fired up for it. Summer, winter, like I haven't really done winter sports personally, even having lived in Buffalo and New England. Like, yeah, there's a lot of snow, but I haven't I can't skate. I've skied a couple times. I'm not great at it. I haven't snowmobiled. I haven't luged. I haven't curled. I haven't done any of that, to be honest.
Would you like to luge?
Maybe. I mean, I feel like I'd have to get some insurance policies and, some extra padding, or I feel like it's dangerous. So like I want to stay alive, That's
Conrad,
my
would you
goal.
agree to luge with Mike?
Absolutely, Mike. We're trying to put something together for me, but I would be more than happy to extend the invitation to you as well, Mike, if you would like to try that out at some point.
As a double, like who's going to be the
Yeah,
bottom
see,
guy?
you're the
top?
taller guy. You're much taller.
You are taller.
So you're going to be the base, I think.
Yeah.
You're going to be the guy on the bottom.
I'll be the base. I'll
Yep.
be on the bottom.
There we go. I'm top. Mike's
Sweet.
bottom. Perfect.
This is going to be great.
I tell you what, we will drive. Where did we find the closest White Castle? Didn't we look? Molly looked it up.
Oh, it was in
Was it Nashville?
Nashville.
Was
Yeah,
it
it's on
Nashville?
Broadway.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll drive up to Nashville and get you a bag of White Castle.
Yes.
If you'll be a
If
part
you'll
of this.
do this.
But you
luge
have to
event.
eat all the White Castle, and then we'll do the luge.
Yes.
I'll provide all the gear. You're probably what would you be in like a base layer or thermals? What size would you
I'd
be?
probably be definitely an XL.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But
Yeah.
I just want to know, do they have White Castle in Milan? Like, is that a
They should
delicacy
have a
over there?
pop-up stand, right?
Oh man.
I saw somebody taking pictures of the McDonald's menu over there. Like,
Huh.
maybe they have White Castle.
Do they
I
have
don't know.
pasta or pizza at their McDonald's?
No, this was just like run-of-the-mill McDonald's.
Just regular
burgers in
McDonald's.
Milan.
Huh.
It must be
Unfortunately,
like
they
a
only have real castles in
novelty.
Milan. I just looked up.
Oh,
Looked it up,
really?
Yeah, only real castles. Sorry.
Not the White Castles. Oh,
I bet their ice cream machine works.
you're probably right.
Mm.
In the Olympic Village.
Yep.
All right. So it should be a lot of fun. Are you going to the game Saturday night, or are you going to take it off because it is
No.
Valentine's Day?
Yeah, it is Valentine's Day, and it's also South Carolina. So it's a good team.
So it's not so much, but I want to stay at home with my loved one. It's
let's
South
Fully
Carolina.
admit I'm going to watch this one from home.
Okay.
And we're gonna mark this, and we're gonna play it back on Monday when they get beat.
Weren't taking them seriously enough.
Yep. Everybody
Nate
heard
Oates- hey.
Rodak on 3-man front.
Nate
the team-
Oates is going to get in the post game after the Gamecocks beat him. He's going to look around and goes, "Where's that Rodak?
Yeah.
Where's Rodak?
Hey, where's Rodak?
Oh goodness.
I think they got this one. South Carolina's a pretty bad
Yeah, I think they do.
All right.
They
Hey,
could let the who's the 7-footer originally from overseas, the European guy from Bucknell that's not any good.
No, Noah Williamson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy stinks.
He could play
He
40
might get some
minutes.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, hey, happy Friday the 13th and happy early VD Day. So
Sounds good. You too. And you too, Conrad.
Yeah.
I can't wait, Mike. It's going to be great, man.
Conrad has never been happier.
yeah, he is so happy to know that now he's got a new luge partner.
Yeah, he calls riding on a luge with you. He just says bliss.
Yes.
I can't wait.
All right,
Love
Mike.
the enthusiasm.
Thanks,
Have
Mike.
a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.
See you guys.
See ya. He's getting off the phone going, what do I agree to come on this show?
It's the
I
white
feel like
cat.
we've all gotten closer with Mike over the last 3 weeks. We've learned a lot about him. He's learned a lot about
About
me
what a
now.
freak
Let's be
you
honest.
are.
How many regular guests do we have that we don't have that relationship with?
That's fair.
It's every one of them.
Yeah, that is true.
And
So we're going to ask,
it's kind of what you're signing up for with me and Pat.
you think Brett would agree to do the luge with me as well?
Brett likes you. I think he would. I think Tom Hart would.
Tom
Tom
Hart.
Hart would absolutely.
Tom Hart
Yes.
would absolutely do
Absolutely.
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Tell
Even
me-
if we weren't filming it, he would want to do it.
Just for the love of the game.
No, he's just weird. Just kidding. Tom's going to join us today, right?
Yes, well, he was until you made that comment.
Tommy.
All right, he's going to join us at noon. Brett Noseworthy at 12:30. We've got time now to take your phone calls at 1-800-239-WJOX, the courtesy GMC text line 205-834-9450. Oh, how about the American men hockey team yesterday? 5-1 over Latvia. I know Conrad wasn't watching. That's okay. So the women today, they're in the quarterfinals.
Woo!
They're taking on Italy. Would you like to take a guess at the Vegas line for the United States women's hockey team against Italy? For point of reference, when they played Canada a couple days ago, the U.S. was a 1.5 goal favorite.
Okay.
So just a point of reference. Quarterfinals.
Quarterfinals? Ooh.
Against Italy. Home ice for Italy, taking on the American women.
They're a 2.5 goal favorite.
2.5 goal favorite.
That's a lot, isn't it?
Well, see, and that's like the way he's phrasing it.
I
It's
don't
making
know.
me think it's like I was going to say 3.5, which sounds insane. I'll say
And,
3.5.
and I just, for some reason, I don't associate the Italians with good hockey.
I don't either.
I don't either.
And I know really nothing about hockey.
See, I was thinking 3.5 because the U.S. women's hockey team, they have scored at least 5 goals in
Okay.
every game they've played, and they've outscored their opponents. I don't even know, but it's some stupid
So we're going to
number.
make this a group answer. I follow Molly's.
Yeah, I like 3.5.
Yeah, I
I
think that's a
3.
good one.
That was
That's the-
my initial guess, was 3.5.
All right, the current goal spread
Mm-hmm.
for the United States taking on Italy in the quarterfinals. Americans are favored by 6.5 goals.
Good.
What?
6.5.
Did Italy like just make a women's hockey team? Is this like their first year?
I don't have the tape on Italy. I can just tell you that based on
I
Vegas
thought 3.5
odds,
was high.
6.5.
That's crazy.
But it goes back to what you said. The American women have scored 5 goals
In every game.
almost in every game.
Yeah.
6.5.
Our
6.5.
women's hockey team is like stupidly good.
Yeah, apparently.
They're awesome.
So 6.5. There's a chance they're in double digits in goals then today, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Who is the Haley Wynn girl? Because I saw her brothers and they're supporting her. She's their little sister, and she's got 3 brothers that are over there that all played college hockey. I'm just learning the team.
That's crazy.
And then coming up, we've
But
got.
here's the thing.
She's a defender.
She's a defender. Okay.
So the American women are 6.5 goal favorites against Italy, but the goal total for the game is 7.5.
That's awesome. Okay, I found it. Team USA in the preliminary round, they have outscored their opponents 20-1. That's what it is.
Ooh.
20-1.
And so basically, because the goal total is 7.5
Mm-hmm.
for the game, and the Americans are a 6.5 goal favorite. Are you going to fire in, Landrum, your 20 cents on the Americans?
If they'll let me, I'll bet 20 cents on America. Women's, what's the highest we've done in women's hockey? I'm sorry. I
We've
forget.
won.
We have?
Oh,
gold?
yeah, we've won
So
gold.
won gold.
since the Winter
When did that-
Olympics
when did-
started,
When did the emergence of women's hockey United States, when did that begin?
well, since like the start of the Winter Olympics, no team has ever won gold except for the U.S. and Canada. Now, I think the last gold medal for the United States was in 2018. We've won 2. Canada's won the rest.
Okay.
So us beating Canada was a really big deal.
But Canada had their number 1 player
She was out. Yeah.
did not participate.
And they weren't taking us seriously, right? Is that their?
I mean, it was a preliminary game. I'm not saying that when you get out there and you get the juices flowing that, they don't want to drop the gloves and go at it, but
Well, look, there's enough negativity that is coming. Hopefully, we don't see a whole lot of it because we have Olympians that have trained really hard from various countries across the world. But this moment, yeah.
So, and I was just sitting here looking, the Canadians in their quarterfinal game, they're playing the German women,
Mhm.
and Canada is a 5.5 goal favorite over Germany.
So it's a 2-dog race.
Yes.
It's the Americans and
That's
Canada.
remarkable. Yeah.
Yep. You see great stories from the Olympic. Unfortunately, politics kind of creeps in. But this was a proud American moment for me. 44-year-old Nick Baumgartner, River, Michigan's own snowboarder. This was yesterday.
They are older than your son, some of these competitors. Put that in perspective for us.
It's just wild. I mean, I think it goes to show the kind of work that I put in to stay here. It takes every bit of me and every bit of effort that I have to be able to compete with these kids. You see how fast they are. And to be able to do that, but I love this so much. If you find something you love, it doesn't matter how much work you got to put in. You're happy to do it. And I'll continue to do it because I love what I do. You saw that out there. I never had so much fun losing in my life. And it's a great time. I get to represent my country and have fun with my friends.
What's next?
Yeah, I heard that on the broadcast. Someone said that this is my last Olympics. Absolutely not. I always said as long as I'm having fun and I'm competitive, which go together, I'll continue to do this. And then especially if I'm on the U.S. team and I get funding and coaching and all the things. So until I'm not having fun or till the body steps in and says you're done, I'm going to continue to put the work in and I'm going to continue to redefine what people think is possible.
He didn't win a thing, and that is one of the proudest moments as an American I've had during this Olympics. Just a guy getting out there and being honest and sharing his heart. That was really good.
I love
Pulling
that.
for you, Nick. Yep.
44 years old.
That's awesome.
Getting after it. He's got a course. He trains at his house. So he's got a bunch of property, and he's created a course, and that's where he trains. I love those guys.
He almost medaled. He almost medaled. I mean, he looked good in that run.
At the tender age of 48, he's gonna give it another go.
Sure, why not?
Where's the next one? Winter?
Nice.
Nice,
France.
That should be nice.
Why don't you take your niece?
I've never been to Europe.
Take your niece to Nice. That'd be nice.
Mm-hmm. Or Nice.
That would be nice.
That would be Nice.
Yeah.
I heard it's nice over there.
Very nice.
Hands on your knees.
What?
That's what they say. Like that.
No, just don't. Just stop.
Landon liked it. I guess that's not a high bar.
No, not on this show.
It's easy to make Landon crack up.
It is.
Tom Hart coming up in 30 minutes. It's
all
just
those
3-man
gummies I ate
front
before the show.
on Jocks.
11:34 on this Friday. It's 3-man front. The gang is here, gearing up for an exciting weekend. SEC basketball, Alabama and South Carolina. Auburn traveling to Fayetteville to take on Arkansas. I'm sure Calipari's going to have them after the beatdown that they received in Neville Arena early in the season. We got Tom Hart coming up from the SEC Network and ESPN. Always a lot of fun with Tom. He joins the show at noon. Well, speaking of noon, and actually right now, it is lunchtime in Crafts 280. That's the newest location of Crafts. We're going to find all the made-from-scratch sides, the stick-to-your-ribs, as I call them, sides, the hand-breaded chicken tenders. You want to go with one of their biscuits. And speaking of biscuits, right there on 280, it's the old Wendy's location on 280 in Mountain Brook next to the Hampton Inn. They got a drive-through breakfast, and it's really, really good. Check it out. It's Crafts 280, but there's 3 locations. Crafts there on 280 in Mountain Brook, Crafts on Church Street there in Crestline Village, and downtown 7th Avenue South, craftsbhm.com for more information.
We had a great time at Crafts last Friday. Food was fantastic. Atmosphere was phenomenal. It was a great time. So
Yes.
if you have not had an opportunity.
And a place that gives back to the community.
Oh, absolutely, all the time. So if you have an opportunity to check out Crafts on 280.
Please do.
Go by there, and as Landrum said, the breakfast is killing it right now.
They're killing it. They've got the breakfast, and just in time for the springtime weather, Pat, we're going to have the frozen cocktails.
Yes. Yeah. Matter of fact, some of the frozen cocktails were being consumed last Friday during the program.
It's a great place. It's solid, and it's consistent. You're going to love it.
All right, so we've been talking a lot about eligibility. So Trinidad Chambliss, he's going to get an extra year at Ole Miss. Now, the case is still ongoing. The NCAA can appeal to the Mississippi State Supreme Court. Not sure if the Mississippi State Supreme Court will hear it, but that is an option for the NCAA at 12:30, less than an hour. Joey Aguilar, his hearing will take place. He is looking for a preliminary injunction, which will allow him to have another year of eligibility at the University of Tennessee. Those same lawyers that basically are going to be held in contempt of court by not being in the courtroom when the decision was read yesterday, they're the same attorneys that will be in Knoxville today. So we will try to air some of that coming up a little bit later in the program if that audio and video becomes available. But speaking of eligibility, just to talk about how crazy things are. I know many of you out there probably heard that a Montana linebacker was granted a 9th year of eligibility. And so I started thinking, this is interesting to me. I want to go back. I want to know more about how technically he's going to get 9 years of eligibility. His name is Solomon Tulio Pupu. Quit laughing, Conrad. That's his name. Tuliaupupu. Tulio.
I don't see any other way to say it.
Well, that's the right way to say it.
Mm-hmm.
Solomon Tulio Pupu. He was a former high school star in California. He fractured his foot his senior year. He missed his freshman season at USC. It's 2018.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, that's the year I graduated from college. That's insane.
So after sitting out a year due to injury, he returned to the field only to have the same foot fractured again in 2019. So another calendar year passed. He then tore his ACL in his left knee in 2020.
I feel like we have a right knee coming up next.
So in 2021, he did not play because he needed a whole season to rehab because he had torn his left ACL. In 2022, Solomon Tulio Pupu played and graduated with a degree from USC.
So that would be 1 year?
In 2022.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In 2023, he tore his ACL in his other leg.
There it is.
Oh.
Yeah. Mm.
He did that in fall camp of 2023. In 2024, he lost a close family member, and he later suffered an illness that forced him to be sidelined for the first quarter of the season. It was at that point that Tulio Pupu walked into the office of USC head coach Lincoln Riley and told him he was retiring, like he had had enough. He had personal things, obviously, in his family, and you just heard all the injuries that he had and suffered playing football. And so basically he said, I'm done. I'm walking out. So in 2025, he moves to Salt Lake City to start a construction job, but he misses football. He gets the itch.
He's a married father of 2, by the way.
So he wants to play more football. So he reaches out to USC and he talks to the compliance department, and they start doing the math, and they go over everything that I just went over, and that he's got some more eligibility because of medical red shirts, because of the COVID year of 2020. They're like, hey, brother, you got some time here. If you want to play, all right, let's see what we can do for you. So hats off to USC.
Yes.
They were helping him, which you should do, but they were helping him say, okay, this is what you have. You have some years of eligibility left. So he entered the transfer portal. He had offers from many FBS schools. He says he had 5 offers from major FBS schools, but they wanted him to play defensive end. And his first love when he first came out of high school was to play linebacker. And he wanted to play that position. So Montana was the only school that had offered him not a contract, but a scholarship to come play. And they said, you can play linebacker. Are you kidding me? We're getting a former USC Trojan to play for Montana?
Yeah.
You want to play linebacker?
What's a great story?
Sure. Go. So Tulio Pupu played 14 games for the Grizzlies in 2025. He registered 43 total tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles. And the team went 13-2. They made a run to the FCS semifinal game. And so he then went to the NCAA. And because of all of those things that I have just listed, the NCAA agreed. And they gave him his 9th year of eligibility coming up. So Tulio Pupu.
I'm pulling for Tulio Pupu. Solomon
gets his 9th year of football eligibility.
Is there somebody out there that's going to fight that? You think that's wrong? Because to me, these are exactly the kinds of cases that we used to head scratch going, why is the NCAA not approved this guy already?
And I would imagine that USC, unlike Ferris State, probably had pretty good documentation.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
On Solomon's health.
Just knowing what I know from one side of the athletics program, there's no stone unturned.
Yeah. So 9 years. 2018, when little Conrad was coming out of the University of Alabama because he got that easy A in all of his classes, the easy degree.
I made a C in one of my classes.
His modeling degree.
Yeah.
That one hasn't worked out for me.
I told you, if you put clothes on, get more gigs.
It's not what I was told in college.
I know. Did you guys ever participate in one of those?
In nude modeling? No.
No, where you go in and you're drawing the subjects.
Huh?
No.
Yeah, where they have like the nude person in the middle
Yeah.
and you have to draw them.
Yeah, I said no if you guys had ever done
Is that a real?
No.
I mean, I guess it's a real thing. I've seen that in movies, but I've never heard of somebody actually doing that. I also don't know art students, so
What if you open a place, it'd be like Sips and Strokes?
you could actually keep the name.
Dang it.
You did it. I mean, we're having a good, wholesome conversation about Tulio Pupu, and then all of a sudden you start going down this, drawing naked people. And
That was a silver platter. I'm sorry.
Well, it started with the modeling contract. I was just wondering if you didn't want to participate in the painting, do they have like they had yesterday in the Mississippi courtroom, like a jury, buy tickets, you just go in and just enjoy your
observe?
Observe people painting naked people.
So sell tickets just to see naked people. I think they do that at some places.
Well, that's a different one. I think you're talking.
That's
about.
a different kind of performance art, Pat.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Go from wholesome to a good old story. Make everybody feel good about a guy that.
Oh, don't you put this on me. Don't you do it. We had moved on. We had already put a bow on Pupu, on Tulio Pupu. I think it's a great story. It's awesome, and I'm pulling for him, and I'll watch Montana.
No, you won't.
Now that I said it, I will watch at least one game.
You'll check that box.
Yes.
All right, more three-man front on this Friday on Jocks. The SEC's Tom Hart will join us at the top of the hour, next hour as well. Brett Norsworthy from WHBQ Radio, also part of the Ole Miss Radio Network during the football season. We'll get his feelings on the Trinidad Chambliss decision that came down yesterday.
Well, if you're looking for a place to catch the Winter Olympics or some college basketball this weekend, that place is Big Whiskey's. They have great food of all varieties. They have a full menu with apps, salads, burgers to steaks. Their bar features unique cocktails, over 120 whiskeys, including whiskey on tap. Plus, they offer different food and drink specials for each day of the week. They have happy hour, and the kitchen is open late. They're in the Stadium Trace Village near the Hoover Met, but now they're also off of 280 as well. So go check them out at Big Whiskey's.
So coming up in about 40 minutes from now, Joey Aguilar is going to be in a Knox County Chancery Court. That's what they call it. They're not called judges. They're called chancellors. So get ready for the verbiage coming up in 40 minutes. It's not judges. They're chancellors.
Is that state specific or court specific?
I do not know, but they're in a
'Cause
chancery court.
I know that in Mississippi you have a chancery court,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he was referenced as judge, if I remember that correctly. Quick look to your left, Pat. Is that Tara Lipinski?
No, that is not.
Okay. Do I have the wrong sport?
No.
Okay.
No, that is the right sport, but no, that is not Tara Lipinski. Chancellor Chris Haggerty is going to review affidavits, consider arguments from both attorneys, and possibly hear expert testimony today starting at 12:30 in the Joey Aguilar case against the NCAA. The hearing could take less than an hour, or it could take all afternoon. Haggerty has the option to make a bench ruling at the end of the hearing, but it's more likely that he issues an order hours or day later. He got his law degree at the University of Tennessee. He began teaching as an adjunct professor back in the fall. So he is Tennessee through and through.
Do you feel like that this is probably, well, I don't know if you're going to get any more home cooking than what we got yesterday. Not that I disagree with the ruling, but I'm just saying as far as the venue in Knoxville.
I was doing a deep dive because you remember when the first judge in the Bediako case, everybody started going crazy because he was an Alabama donor.
Right.
So all three of the judges in this Chancery Court in Knox County all are graduates of the University of Tennessee, which we got nothing wrong with that because Alabama has a law school. Most of those judges, they're going to graduate from the University of Alabama School of Law. That's just the way it is. Just like Tennessee. They got a law school. A ton of people graduate from the University of Tennessee Law School. That's just the way it is. But this is the little item of note, a little nugget that I found that was kind of interesting to me. So they cannot determine whether Haggerty is a UT donor or a season ticket holder. And here's why. Donations to state universities are not a public record in the state of Tennessee. So unlike those that did a lot of gumshoe work as journalists trying to find out if the judge in Tuscaloosa was an Alabama booster, you cannot do that in the state of Tennessee.
I'm just going to assume he's given millions.
You want that story, don't you?
That would fit my narrative better.
I'm going to assume that they've all given something.
I would think
Their
so,
heart
too.
and soul to the university.
In addition to that, monetarily, I'm guessing they have.
Yeah, probably so.
So obviously, if Aguilar loses this injunction case, which that would be a shock, but if he were to lose, then obviously his path to play again is over.
Because the national narrative with these people that are writing these columns, they're talking about, oh, look where this is going. It's all of these schools finding a little bit of a gray area, and they're setting it up. And these, I don't know, it was pretty disrespectful, I thought, to the judge in the court in Mississippi. One of the articles I read and how they worded it, but that's the narrative for the most part. I just wonder how many of these judges are watching these other cases. I have to assume they're all watching these other cases or seeing the headlines, seeing the opinions, and how much pressure is there?
Well, and we go back to the Tuscaloosa judge, right? And that was a different situation in the sense of that would have set a new precedent that we don't think he wanted to open that can of worms. And that's ultimately why Bediako was not given his eligibility. But with Aguilar, right, that precedent was set last year. So you're not opening that can of worms. It's already been open. So there's no reason that shouldn't.
Pruitt would have really
through.
been putting himself out there.
Oh, yeah.
And he would have been referenced from years to come as the judge in this landmark.
And he wasn't going to do that.
No, I don't want that.
And
Not
I
a
don't
chance.
blame him.
It is interesting that Aguilar's attorney,
Not if it's Alabama football.
his name is Cam Norris. He's already beaten the NCAA in court before. In 2024, he was part of the UT, the University of Tennessee, defense against the NCAA over quarterback Nico Iamaleava. Remember the airplane? Remember all the things?
Oh, yeah, when he was getting recruited.
He was the lead attorney for the University of Tennessee that beat the NCAA in court that allowed Nico.
The chancellor is?
No, the attorney for Aguilar.
The attorney. Okay.
Yeah, the attorney for Aguilar. He was the attorney for the University of Tennessee against the NCAA when they came after Nico because Tennessee argued the NCAA rules regarding NIL benefits violated antitrust laws, and he won. So he's already beaten the NCAA once. I mean, I think Conrad could beat the NCAA in that court today. No offense.
I'll take that as
Even
a
with your
compliment.
flimsy Alabama degree.
Coming in with a 1-0 lifetime record versus the NCAA. Please welcome Cameron T. Norris. Good old Cameron.
That was a great intro.
Hey, and you know the old Taylor Askew?
Yeah.
Who you've heard, the attorney for the NCAA?
Mm-hmm.
Guess where he graduated law school?
UT, baby.
The University of Tennessee.
Hey!
So we got vol on vol crime today.
Oh, I bet he's called some of his buddies that still live in the area. Hey, when I wrap up today, let's go to the old spot. Get hammered.
Tom Hart from the SEC Network, ESPN, will join us next on the program. Hope you'll keep us tuned. We got 2 more hours to go here on this Friday.
Something tells me he's going to need a bottle after today's ruling.